you're insane.
Maybe. A couple more things. Derek, we have a comic book.
We do. As you may know, there is a Mortal Kombat X comic book, and this one came out yesterday. Go to your comic book store, pick it up. They only had 2 left when I had my wife go get mine. Okay. So
we had to republish the entire first ones.
Yeah.
Because they're selling so well.
It's awesome.
Obviously, we're not talking a lot about story now, but if you want to get ready to kind of know where we're going, a good place to go is the comic book.
Yep. Go pick it up at your local store or download it digitally.
Also, something we haven't done yet. I want to really thank everyone for coming out to watch these. Like, we had some really awesome numbers last time, and
yes.
we're excited that you're excited to see the streams. It's super exciting for us to be able to show you all of this. And also, we gained so many followers last time.
We like tripled.
Yeah, which is great. So thank you all for that. If you do follow us on Twitch, you will get a notification every single time we go live. So, as we usually do, take a few seconds. If you haven't yet,
we'll wait.
Scroll down. There you go. Push the button. You pushing it?
There you go. Oh.
I think the last guy, he's waited. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone has pushed the button. Good. We're good to go.
Yep.
So you wanna get started?
We don't have to, do we?
I think we probably should.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and just get right into it, guys.
So Spiro.
Yes.
We are going to talk today because we are focusing our energies today on Katana and Reptile, 2 amazing characters from Mortal Kombat who have been around for quite a while.
Absolutely.
So we kind of want, I think a lot of the fans would like to know sort of how you start and finish a character. Like, where do they come from?
Sure. So yeah, my name is Spiro Nagnostakos. I'm the production manager here at NetherRealm Studios. And I work closely with our art director, Steve Baran, and a lot of the artists that are super talented and creative. And I was kind of lucky enough to kind of be involved in the concept creation of our characters.
A little backstory about Spiro. I'm a super nerd about seeing concept art and all the stuff that's coming out for the game because I just love the art design. So Spiro's the guy who'll be like, "Hey Tyler, come to my office for a second. Got something to show." And he'll show me like all the new concept art, which is like, for a Mortal Kombat fan and a game fan, I love that you do that for me. So Spiro's that guy who kind of funnels everything, makes sure everything's working, shows everybody everything.
It's super exciting to see the stuff that the guys can do.
Oh, and seeing all the different versions of each one of the iconic characters that you guys do is it's so exciting. And what the final ones that get selected are is I usually know. Yeah. I usually know.
So I guess a good place to start is when you have an artist and you say, "Hey, you're going to work on Reptile."
Sure.
What information will you give them? Do you have a place you want it to go or things like that?
Well, I mean, we take kind of varied approaches to it. For some of the characters, obviously they existed in the franchise since the very beginning. So not a lot of background is really needed for them. Unless, of course, somehow story relates to the way they look or the direction of the characters. In other instances, we'd like to kind of give our, like I mentioned, our talented crew here, just kind of free reign to kind of come up with a lot of different variations and just kind of explore the designs and see what they can come up with.
A lot of artists will throw things out that you're like, we never thought of that, and that is perfect.
Those happy accidents are awesome.
And one statement you'll probably hear from us a lot today is a lot of things will be like, well, that has a lot to do with story, and we're talking about that.
Sure.
So there will be a little bit of that, but the story stuff is coming really soon. And I'm excited to show them that too.
Yeah, it's coming soon.
Sooner than you think.
So yeah, very much so. So what's the usual process? Like start to finish, like what do you do?
Sure. So we first start off with what we call our speeds, and they're just that really. They're just very quick sketches to kind of flush out some kind of broad stroke design elements, silhouettes, that sort of thing. From that point, I think we take, we kind of narrow it down to the few that we feel kind of fit the character best. And at that time, we kind of let the artists hammer on like details and stuff like that.
So it almost kind of works like a pyramid. Like you'll have 12 reptiles. They go down to 8 reptiles, and eventually you get down to the 2 or 3 or 4 we choose.
And then you find the one.
Right, and then you find the main costume.
You're like, this is it. This is who Reptile should be. This is who Katana should be. And then at that point, we introduce just like the color and the materials and all that, and we go to kind of like a final polish.
Awesome. Have there been challenges in making some of the characters?
I mean, we always want to create like new and extravagant things with our characters, but especially with Mortal Kombat X and the X-ray and fatality tech that's behind it, there's kind of always some kind of limitations. So instead of kind of trying to go with this elaborate style, we decided to kind of focus, like I mentioned earlier, the materials. So you'll see a lot of characters with stone and metal and leather, and that's kind of been the focus of like this next gen is kind of this realistic kind of look.
Well, yeah, even look at the like our Reptile character we have now. He has the bone V. He has leather arms. There's all these different types of material, which is really neat to see for us.
Yeah, it's
and
awesome.
a lot of our characters are so varied that they have to have different kinds of cloth.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just one of the things of next gen and what we can do now is really push this kind of stuff.
Another question. This is maybe on your side as well.
Well, hello.
So sometimes, obviously, gameplay will tell you or inform you of what you kind of have to do in different directions on a character.
Especially with like the variation system, right? Like Scorpion, we have a skull on his belt, and you guys kind of have to figure out how to make that work.
Right, so we've introduced all these visuals just to make sure the players can figure out and easily see what variation that they're in, and we need to make sure that these visuals work across all the various skins. So it sometimes is a challenge, like, oh man, we can't use that because of this, or there's a prop that's supposed to go here, we can't do that, and but it's fun. It's what makes.
So you wouldn't have put like a neon pink skull on Scorpion.
You never know.
Oh, okay, all right.
Alt skin, guys. Let's. I think that's probably a good time to maybe look at some of the concepts we have for Reptile and Katana.
Yep,
it's rolling.
So first up, let's.
Yeah, so this is some earlier stuff that we saw from Katana, and as you can see, it ranges from something very modern on the right-hand side to potentially even something very intricate and more delicate, even a new look for her where she's hooded. And then we have something kind of in the middle that's more traditional, I guess, of what you'd think Katana would look like.
Right. Would these be what you would call, would that be a speed?
That would be probably the speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long on average does it take a person to do like a speed drawing?
It really varies.
Just
Again, they're just supposed to be quick iterations.
Sure.
It's nothing that we're really supposed to spend too much time on. That's what this next step kind of shows us, is just the more detailed, intricate line drawings that our artists can do.
So now you've kind of found silhouettes almost, and now you're kind of narrowing it down into where you really want to be.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
We got next here.
Okay, so yeah, this is interesting because we also decided to take a look at the dark side of Katana. So on the right-hand side, you'll see some kind of more regal-looking kind of costumes, and on the left, maybe even something a bit more aggressive, right? So you see a lot of like metals, and again, more like ripped and torn, tattered clothing. So again, just different approaches, different looks.
Gotcha. Now here is something very interesting.
That's super special.
Spirit, would you like to make the announcement?
So, yeah, so absolutely. This is Katana's second outfit, her alt uniform, which is kind of a throwback, or at least inspired by a lot of the MK9 stuff that she wore.
Yeah, it's more of a traditional look for her.
Definitely. So you see a lot of like the cloth and like the long loin that she has. Very traditional, but yeah, super excited that this one made it into the game. It looks really good.
And then we're going to move into sort of like, from the bottom to the top, we end up with this right here.
Yeah, this is, as we know, Katana here, the final concept. And as you can see, we have a front and a back. And the reason, obviously, why we do that is because these concepts are given to our character artists, who then need to go in and digitally sculpt all these details into the model.
Okay.
Now, I'll have to say that in comparison to this game, to the last Mortal Kombat, the females seem to be a little more toned down.
Absolutely. I mean, the mantra from this game has kind of always been realism and heading towards a more realistic look. So same thing kind of applies to the proportions, where we try to kind of bring things back in per se to where they should be.
Awesome.
Women looking more like women do. Like
exactly.
Little less. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use words right now.
No, we're just gonna go ahead and move on to that.
I think we're ready to move on to some of Reptile's early stuff and sort of where we started there.
Yeah, so this is a great example of just exploring different looks for Reptile. And in this particular instance, you'll see that he's taken a more of an amphibian look. We even added a tail. We thought about doing that. I mean, that stuff starts becoming more complex, so it goes back to what I was saying again earlier. There has to be some kind of give and take, right?
Well, especially with gameplay, too. Introducing a tail, that's going to open a bunch of different doors as well.
Right.
Sure. In this particular image, we're seeing a lot of, like a take on the more ninja side of Reptile, which is obviously where he originates from, right?
Well, it's so funny, it's interesting because you look at the early versions of Mortal Kombat, and Reptile was just a palette swap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until you get into higher levels of tech, you're not able to give him that sort of personality that is a lizard almost.
And we can do that now and really define who they are. So it's been great doing so, right?
Yep. Yeah, I really like the one that looks kind of like a cobra, where it's got the cobra hood to it. It's very
awesome.
cool.
So here again, as we get into a more detailed versions of the characters that we like or feel more fitting for Reptile, you'll see stuff on the right-hand side of this image where he's kind of has more of an aquatic feel, or you know, a little bit more armor potentially than we would like. Because again, gameplay, you wouldn't, I guess, think Reptile would be so barked down and you know.
Right, he's really agile, so I mean, you got to make sure that there's not too much armor on him and things like that.
Nimble even.
Nimble.
Right.
Awesome.
And the next one's kind of more of the just
Fleshing
more iterations of.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, out of this here, we felt like the one on the far left would probably be a better fit. The others, like we said, a little too bulky.
Mm-hmm.
We need him to be fast.
And we may see that one on the left a little bit later, I
Yeah.
would say.
So this last step here is, again, characters we felt strong enough that we would like to take them to color. Again, just more iterations. It's a constant evolving and iterative process. It's not like, you know, you sketch one image and that ends up being the final skin.
And it's a big collaboration between everybody to kind of pick what they like and.
Sure. Yeah, here's some more kind of versions of the character.
Right. And now.
Yeah, so this is what we know as the...
This is Reptile as we know him right now.
Absolutely. So, you know, we felt for this particular skin that we really wanted to kind of go back to like the rawness of who he is. So you'll see a lot of the bone and rock and stone, and you know, it's just so fitting because you get both the Reptile side and I guess the kind of ninja silhouette there.
See, that's what I wanted to talk about, because you had talked to me, we had kind of gone through some of this yesterday, and you had mentioned like the V almost, using the rock is kind of harkens back to his ninja garb.
Absolutely.
It just kind of gives a touch of what that was.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
And Spiro, this is the first time I think in Kombat Kast history, you're doing 2 reveals. You already did the Katana alt.
Yes.
What do we have here?
Well, this is the other alt for Reptile. This one I'm not going to really say too much about because it kind of relates to story.
Oh.
But you'll be seeing more of this version for sure.
Awesome.
A lot more stripped down, not as much bone, and yeah, excellent. We're not going to say anything more.
Yep.
Because the more I say, the more I get in trouble. Awesome. So anyway, that is sort of, I guess, how characters come to life.
Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's an extremely exciting process. I love being a part of it, and we try to make some cool stuff for you guys.
And it doesn't take 7 minutes like that just did.
No,
a little bit longer. Now, if you look at the screen now, we do have some. We have our Mortal Kombat Facebook page you can join. NetherRealm's Twitter. Follow that to catch up on all the streams. Got Derek's Twitter there. Whew. I left my Twitter off
because you're an idiot
by accident at Tyler Lansdowne. And this is big news. Spiro has Twitter now. How many followers?
13.
13 followers.
Woo!
Now, by the time you get back to your desk,
you will have 14.
You will have 14 or 15 followers.
I'll take them.
It makes the whole thing worth it.
It really does. So, Spiro, thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
I was happy to be able to learn and pronounce your last name.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks for the tips on that yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
And thank you for showing us from how the character goes from being on paper to in-game. You don't always get to see that, and thank you very much.
I think people are really interested in seeing how the art works.
Yep.
So, everybody, that's Spiro. That's him on Twitter. We'll be right back in about 10 seconds with another guest.
Booyah!
Thanks.
Barrett, Philippine. I hope you enjoyed our commercial break.
With no commercials. Never had them, never will. Right here, we have Mr. Michael Bellapani, one of our designers here.
Yes.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, Derek.
You guys know each other? What?
Yeah, it's almost
we've
as if we're
met.
sitting next
We've
to each
met.
other.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Michael, tell us just little bullet points about you.
I've been at the studio for about, I don't know, say 7 months now, so not very long. I think I'm the newest member of the design team.
Kind of like a noob.
I knew one could use that word. I wouldn't. If one could. One
If
could.
I were you.
Yeah. And I've been in the industry for a long time. This is my first fighting game to work on. I'm incredibly excited about it.
You do have a bunch of fighting game background.
Oh yeah, as far as like as a player, as part of someone who's been passionate about it for a long time.
Awesome.
So we were glad to have you on the Mortal Kombat team. We talk MK a lot. I watch a lot of the stuff you're doing, which I can't talk about.
No.
Yeah.
So we are going to go through now Katanas. We're going to start with Katana.
Of course.
Go through her variations. We're going to move on to Reptile. Michael's here to kind of fill in some of the blanks about how they work. And as usual, we're going to go to them and not talk through their intro screens.
We will try not to talk through their intros.
Go ahead.
Okay.
We got a little time. We got a bit of a low screen. Let's do it on the. Let's do Snow Forest.
Well, that's all you, buddy.
That is all me.
All right.
My bad, everybody.
And it's actually the Deadwoods.
The Deadwoods.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Deadwoods.
Like we said before, not everything is final.
Right.
Now.
Yeah.
Living Forest, Dead Woods. Makes sense.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nope. Stop talking. Chip.
We know
We have fought before, Construct.
the memory is gone. Round 1. Fight.
All right.
Now, let's go ahead and start with, like we've talked about before, every single Mortal Kombat character, you still have that flavor that's always been there with characters, and each variation adds a little touch to it. So let's talk about the stuff they share within.
Exactly. So, common moves with Katana, her probably most signature moves this series are fan toss.
There we go.
Yeah. That one's really effective. You do the EX version, you get a double fan toss. And you can also do an air version of that. That air version is one of her core moves, especially for combos, because it suspends characters in the air for a little while.
Absolutely.
You know, it's kind of some classic Katana combo building,
Right.
if you will. You also got your fan lift.
Big combo starter for Katana.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
You'll notice it's visually changed too, from like the MK9 and the classic fan lift. It actually looks more like a tornado or a vortex.
I really like the style on that. Yes. So that one's really effective. We are in Royal Storm right now.
Royal Storm right now, yeah.
That one actually has a little bit different variation. Of
Which we'll
the fan
get to
lift.
that. We'll get to that
exactly,
part. Yeah.
Exactly. But this one will look a little bit different if you see it.
And like we talked with Spiro as well, when it comes to telling characters apart, this version has the
glowing
the
sticks.
glowing sticks in her hair and is maskless.
Yeah.
Let's go through some other shared moves.
She's got her. Oh, we got the hover. I guess yeah.
Like
The
a little
hover
float.
move. That move is deceptively complex and really useful because not only can you use it to dodge projectiles when you're across the screen from someone, but you can also follow up with attacks afterwards.
Right.
So you can do things like jump in.
So I can do like
float. Yeah. Exactly. Or you can attack and then float and then attack. There's a ton of possibilities.
So yeah, it definitely can kind of trick the opponent into thinking you're going to land, you don't land.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, a lot of utility in that one.
We also
What else we
have
got?
the laser fan. Yeah.
That move is very good anti-air. You can meter burn, of course, to get the extra damage out of that one as well.
I like to use it when I get knocked down. I like to use it kind
Make
of
a
as a
wake
wake
attack.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure everybody saw his X-ray again.
Yeah.
So this is what happens.
Yeah. Just want to. It's your contribution.
Well, you know, I didn't have much to say there for
That's
a
all right,
second,
that's
so
all
I
right.
figured I would just impose there.
That's okay.
Oh, let me mention something real quickly before I forget. All that concept art you just saw on the stream, if you look at NetherRealm's Twitter right now, our community manager Rigo has put up a link to our Tumblr page so you can tear apart the stuff even more.
Yes.
So, which we're excited about.
Am I forgetting anything else for common specials?
There's one more that's new, a little new. We got a
Oh yeah, the throat slice.
Throat slice.
Yeah, that move's really fast. It's a really good combo ender.
Yeah.
You can meter burn for a little bit more damage. Yeah, that one's a good all around like. I'm finishing off our juggle. I want to threaten space kind of at mid-screen. It comes out so fast that you kind of always have to be watching out for it.
So yeah, you can definitely I like to use it as enders and such like this, which I missed.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Tyler, don't show off all your goods.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I need to stop doing
Come
that.
on. Come on.
But and we also talk, those who don't play fighting games a lot, there's a term we use called footsies.
Yes.
And footsies is kind of a way to always be sort of like in the range where your best move is right near them. So this move, this move right there is great when you're just at mid screen trying to fake them out a little bit and then boom you.
Yeah, if you can predict where they're going to be, that's a very dangerous move. You can threaten.
And if they're trying to backdash on you, you can easily catch them there.
Exactly.
A lot of utility for that move. Now let's kind of go into Royal Storm's differences.
Yeah, Royal Storm is probably my favorite trait of all three of hers.
Which I think is funny because
Oh, yeah.
everyone's always like, oh, well, there'll just be one trait everybody likes.
Yeah.
absolutely untrue.
Yeah.
Because you like Royal Storm.
Yeah, you like one of the other ones.
My favorite is Assassin.
Yeah.
Like that, because that's sort of how I like to play.
Yeah.
Although I've found matchups where I like using Royal Storm.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. It's. I think the reason I like this one so much, it has so much utility. There's all of her new moves in this one kind of have a lot of really different functions, and so I guess the first one you can show is the new fan slice. That one has additional range.
Right. I can get regular. I can get about mid screen, but if I'm full screen and I EX it,
Yeah.
it is a full screen.
And then from across the screen, you can be throwing fans,
Yep.
air fans, follow up on combos, all sorts of options. So that's been super effective. Then you have the square wave.
Right, which is-
yeah, square wave attack.
Great for getting in or also getting away.
Yep. I'd say this version of her has the most airborne moves. She
Yeah.
has the float. She's got the square wave in the air. She's got the fan toss. You can build a lot of combos that way.
I would say this move really controls controls everything above you.
Yeah,
Very, very
exactly. She's very threatening if you jump. You don't necessarily want to jump mindlessly.
She also has this, which Derek, I believe,
I picked somebody without a projectile.
picked a character without a projectile.
We can kind of
Don't
imply-
worry, we'll see it later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. This is one of the best reflects I've ever seen in a
Yeah,
fighting game.
so you can actually hold it down. So
Yeah.
if, like, you were talking earlier to me about Cassie Cage.
Yeah, Cassie Cage has her EX gunshot move, has multiple projectiles. You don't just reflect one, you can reflect all three back if you
Right.
keep holding it or timing correctly. And yeah, it's any character that is throwing multiple attacks at you that are projectiles, you
Right.
can be incredibly dangerous across the screen. So this whole build could be kind of effective as a zoning build, right? If you're throwing different kinds of projectiles out and bouncing stuff back. I like to use it as like an anti-zoning build. So if someone's trying to just stay away from me, I
And
can
by build,
say-
you mean variation.
yeah, variation.
Right.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. So I can use a variation, this variation, to say, no, you can't just stay away from me. You have to come at me, and then I'm controlling the game.
Excellent.
Yeah.
all right.
Let's move on to the next one. Oh, and as you can see, in the corner we have Goro. We are not going to select him today. I know that will disappoint some people.
Well, we at least put him on screen for you to
We
see.
did. There is his character.
Yeah.
We'll be showing Goro really soon because I get so many tweets about Goro.
Hashtag punch walk.
Hashtag punch
Yeah.
walk. So we won't
It's
go
two
into
things you need to do in a fighting game, but you can do them together.
punch and walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Genius.
let's
is
go
what it is.
let's do some Outworld Marketplace for this.
All right.
Now this is the one that I actually, as you know through Twitter, if you've been following me and Derek's beef, I've been doing a lot of practicing. I stay late in practice. I've been practicing a lot with the assassin
You
variation.
mean you've wasted a lot of time?
No, I do my work during the day and I stay late to practice.
Okay. All right.
So thank you.
Straight
Dear,
on
yeah.
Portuguese side,
You're welcome.
So the assassin. Now we got some.
As we talk.
and you are weaker as a result.
Round one.
You did not see the face that just gave you.
Eventually, people are just gonna have to deal with it occasionally, and I will keep talking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? So this one, the visual indicator, is she has some black again across her eyes,
And she has
She's
the mask
masked.
on.
One of my favorite visuals, I think, of all her three variations.
I love the look. It's sort of it's dark,
Very assassiny.
very assassiny. Tough word to spell.
Yeah.
So this we add a couple of neat things. She has a parry, which she can hold down.
Yeah. And that's not a projectile parry like her
No.
reflect move.
It also like if you
Nice.
Yeah.
if you'll do a low, she won't hit that either.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to read your opponent really well. You have to kind of know what's coming. But if you can predict, that move is a
Right.
great way to limit someone who's just throwing stuff out willy-nilly.
Because there's a lot of people out there who just love pushing a lot of buttons, getting on top of you really quick.
Yeah.
And you throw that out there, they're gonna start thinking twice about doing
Exactly. Good wake-up option.
A couple things. Let's show sharpen real quick.
Yeah, sharpen gives you additional damage. If
So
you hit that.
on your fans.
on
Yeah.
all of your fan-based attacks.
Now it's time based.
Yes, exactly. And it also has an additional property once we show the next move.
Right. That's what I was gonna do right now. The thing that makes me really love the assassin variation, it's kind of one of my favorite moves in the game, I must say. And like, let's say you're there, she can run and hit him right in the head.
Yeah.
So if they whiff a move full screen or you duck something, it's so fast that it can really punish your opponents in that
Just
way.
gonna take out your eyes real quick.
Every
Yeah.
single time. But in conjunction with sharpen, now when you do this, you don't need a bar of meter to do that.
Yeah, normally
Because
you can
usually
use
I
that,
should have
yeah.
shown that first.
Yeah.
So this is the meter burn version right here,
Yeah.
or EX version. While your blades are sharpened, you don't
You
have
get that
to
for free.
You get it for
It's
free.
And you can also do things like, as you finish a combo, instead of netting a damage, you can actually do a sharpen as your last.
One thing I love to
during
do
a combo,
is
yeah.
after this, I generally will get, since he's down for long, I can get a sharpen. right
exactly.
away. So you got to really pick your times because it takes time to do. So those are her variations. They really change
Yeah.
up the way she plays.
Yeah, this one, she can be very rushed down. So you can use that assassinate move to kind of punish someone across the screen if they're just kind of doing something stupid out there. You can also probably net the most damage, I would say, out of your combos, like any variation that she has. So yeah, if you're offensive, you want to get big damaging combos, you want to keep the pressure up, this is an option.
And the EX version also has armor on it when it first starts up too. So if you're trying to get through like a projectile or whatnot, just EX and run right through it.
Absolutely. I think we got one more to show.
Yep.
Showing off the swaggy combos.
It's not that swaggy, but yeah. Now we've got a lot of tweets. Real quick, I just gotta say something. We're doing something we've never really done before. We're doing a character unreveal.
Yes.
We're gonna tell you a character now that will not show up in the game.
Havoc.
Can't say anything about that.
I mean,
did.
Yeah, he just did. So
Yeah.
maybe not. Jade
oh,
will not be in Mortal Kombat X.
can we have a moment of silence
Moment
for
of silence.
Jade?
I think we're good there. So the mournful variation takes special attacks from Jade, and Katana uses them. It's because she's sad she has lost her friend, and now she's taken up her mantle and uses her weapons to kind of help her live on.
Yeah.
So really, Jade's spirit's in the game.
Yeah.
And right here in my heart.
Yeah.
Right.
in my heart.
So maybe I didn't de-reveal her at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, she's not.
that's how you started.
Yeah, right.
Kung Lao.
You seek a challenge, Katana.
Yes, but you will do.
Round 1.
Ooh, that snap.
Yeah.
So here, she has some Jade-esque moves. Now,
Yeah.
we talked about the fans earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
We said she had some projectile variations from one to the other. This one uses the glaive from
Right.
Jade. And you can throw that out straight. You can also tilt the move up and down.
Right.
And hit the targets above or targets below. And
There we
there
go.
you go.
There it
Yeah.
is.
So you can throw that low, throw that high. But you can also do an airborne version as well. So you can you control space a little bit differently. You don't have as much horizontal control, but you control a pretty significant
Right.
portion of the screen with that horizontal air glaive.
Right.
You also have a very effective version of that in the meter burn version that is active for a really long time.
There you go. Brings it
Yeah.
right back to you.
Exactly. So far away, you can get combos. When they're a little bit closer, people
Right.
have to deal with that for a long time. It's on the screen for a long time. So great way to control space and keep the person locked down that you're trying
Right.
to.
Basically, a lot of the same properties as Jade from MK9.
Exactly.
So if you were familiar with her in MK9, there's not a lot of differences here.
Yeah, and the air version of that also has the boomerang effect, which I think also scores you a knockdown, right?
Yeah, I don't have meter right now. I have to do a little trick here.
There we go.
Just press as many buttons as possible.
Yeah, so yeah.
Not in the final
Yeah.
game, and I'm
It
missing.
helps if you hit it too.
Yeah, it really does.
yeah.
That's down to knock.
I'm not very good at that either.
Yeah. You learned that I'm not either.
Yeah.
We also have.
Yeah. We have this, the grab from her staff. I almost not call it a grab, it's not a block.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
Remember
That's an X-ray.
X-ray for Jade?
And we want to show off everything of
Yeah.
Katanas, even the X-ray.
Right.
When you least expect it.
My bad, everybody.
I'm going to
So,
give
yeah.
you that round.
Thanks.
You
Thanks a
won
lot.
that one.
So that's a really good, another good combo ender.
You can also, yeah.
The meter burn version that you extra damage and a very painful.
And she also has a shadow kick here, which can
Exactly.
also
Yeah.
keep pressure up.
Yeah, so if you're a fan of Jade and some of her playstyles, then you can pull a little bit of that back in. If that's who you like in MK9.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that is, those are all the sort of variations of